ESB Contested Candidates Forum. Position statements: Auditor, City Judge, Commissioner, District Number 4, Commissioner, District Number 8, Commissioner, District Number 12. Good. You think so? Yes. Broadcasting, fellas. That's what I'm talking about. That broadcast.
Just trying to give you an opportunity to have a few minutes to kind of say your piece, tell what you think the issues are in your district and what you plan to do when you're in office. I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Only the candidates RSVP.
The candidates. No, the audience doesn't RSVP. No. No, I guess you can just wait until we're a little closer to time.
What now?
We're going to have all of the offices other than chief executive sit on the stage.
Hello, Dan.
And just kind of down the list. So. And then we'll call the office in the name, and each one of the folks will get up and speak. So when we get to your district, we'll call your name, and you'll come to the front at the microphone, and then you'll have your 3 minutes to give your.
You're down to 3? Oh man, I have 20 minutes.
Well,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
We do have a
Really
time.
fast. I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Shall I just take an agenda off the
Well, I guess you can consider yourself checked in. And
Is it done?
when we get started,
Yeah.
we're going to have all the candidates for these offices, other chief executives sit up on the stage, and then we'll be going by the officers on the list. And so we'll be calling the running for the office of Sheriff, Russell W. Robertson, and then you'll come to the front end.
Just gonna let it go on auto?
3-minute
Just let it
talk.
It's gonna work.
Well, that's all I guess. You're here, right here. Getting down, my pants are too long, no time to sort it, so getting out. So I guess we're fine for a while. Just wait until a little closer. Talk to you.
I try. I know. Hopefully I'm not starting lying.
I guess we still got to figure out. We're gonna have to draw the. I guess we have to draw the names.
It's first and
We have to. My husband and I are gonna draw the names for the order of the candidates. So that'll be fun. All right. Thank you, Russ. Dave, I guess we'll have to draw the order for the candidates for chief executive.
Okay.
So it said we could just draw them out in a hat for the order that they'll go in.
How did he have?
Well, we already pointed out here. So
What?
I just wondered, should I just put all the names each on out?
Sure.
6. So.
We'll see you later.
We have to sign in.
Well, we're kind of
My old quality KBMF.
we're kind of making sure that we're just signed in.
You'd like
Walter, okay? I haven't checked anybody off yet, but I guess I could do that.
Yeah, I didn't know if I was supposed to.
Yeah, but that's.
You know I'm here.
Okay. I know you're here.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. I guess that's like checking them all. Just gonna make.
Do we have to have everybody sitting in order?
No, I don't think so. If we just have them sit on the stage, and it's faster than to just have them come up to the podium. Just ask them to come to the podium when their name is called. I thought that would be a little too confusing. I said to Ed, you know, they'll be shifting back and forth in those seats and stuff while the people are talking. I don't think that would be so good. I think it would be easier. They can walk from wherever they're sitting on the stage to. Hello.
Hi.
It's Mary.
Mary?
Linda.
Okay.
So I'm here, but Robbie, my husband was ill today. He came home ill.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay.
You must be Dave.
This
I think
is
you went to
Dave.
school with my brother. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry you can't come.
Yeah, well, he heard he had a couple of discs in his back, so they've been kind of acting up. So,
That's
you know, you do what you can do.
Yeah. Backs are terrible. Back injuries are terrible. I'm
So you
glad
tell
that
us
you're
where
here.
to be and sit next to you.
Yeah, I guess what I'm gonna suggest is just when we call the candidates to just to grab a seat on the stage, and we'll be calling off the offices and the people from the order on this little agenda. So then we'll just have you go over to the podium and we can have you 3 minutes. 3 minutes to give you speech.
I'm here also, but I'm not till later.
Okay.
May I leave you one of those?
You sure can.
Thank you,
Thank
Robin.
you. You bet. That's our friend.
Who's the dog?
Oh, that's Linda Serena Granger.
The superintendent of schools.
Yeah, superintendent.
Is she also a daughter?
I think so.
Younger daughter yet?
I think she's, yeah, well, she's a Serena, so I think she is. Keep these for a big dramatic drawing out.
Robin, how are you?
How are ya?
Good to see
You
you.
must be just checking in.
James Revis, yes.
Alrighty. Just okay. I guess that Glenn is Glenn Granger is going to be.
Oh, isn't that Peter? I'm more than willing to speak in his place. All right. Hey, Lori, James. Yeah, I know who you are. Awesome.
How's it going, Dave?
It's doing great. It's doing great. Is there a propaganda doing?
Good, how are you doing? That's all.
Maybe you sit like right there or something, or? Okay. All right. Sounds like. Thank you.
Does this thing make a noise? This timer?
The timer? It's got it set for 3 minutes. I don't know how loud it is when it does.
How are you doing?
How are you doing?
Melina.
I thought so, but I
You
wasn't.
go by Melina, not Melina, right?
Melina.
Melina.
Yes.
Okay.
Cat fight.
Checking folks in.
Good. That should be great.
Is that all I need to do?
Pardon?
Is that all I need to do? Or-
Yeah. You'll be sitting up here on the first part, okay? Right at 7 o'clock. We'll get before 7. I'll have everybody come up here, find a seat, and then we'll just go down this list as it is. There's this list up there on all the seats,
Okay.
and your guys are nice and last.
That's okay.
But you'll have 3 minutes. I'll call you real quick right after the next one and introduce you, and then come up. Give 3 minutes. Say whatever you want to talk about. You don't need to use the whole 3 minutes.
Okay. Just kind of say what I had to say and hopefully I remember everything.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good luck to you.
fantastic.
Yes.
But I just checked you in.
Come say hello. Let us know you're here.
We're a little closer to time. We'll get it all together.
Everybody on the chair. I see we're first. Slip out.
The auditors are gonna go first.
This should be it.
I hope so. Very good. How you doing?
All right, well, we'll check you in.
All right, thank you.
Good luck, you again.
That was loud enough.
So, and then we go. God damn it. So I'll have to.
Okay, I guess when we're a little closer to get all the to sit up on the stage, and then we'll call your office and your names individually, and you'll come to the podium and be able to give your Zoom. Yeah, the order on the check your calculator, so I guess it's don't have to draw out and half of what.
Oh,
Yeah. Your own phone.
I wanted to see what time it was.
Oh,
Do something.
come on. Can you change this time thing? Jason? Uncheck the thing. Uncheck the thing that says there. Okay.
It's really not going to be long. Okay.
I understand I have to check in. You have to check in. Okay. Mary, we got you. Thanks.
Oh, Mary?
Ed said, let Robin know you're here. Okay.
That's good. There's a way that we want to get all the information for us on stage.
I know.
Let you know, our little folks that sing the song, we'll have those candidates sit up on stage and we'll give them all their names and this person. Okay. He used to be one of my brother's best friends. I know.
What is that?
Okay. See where you're at.
So are we going
I'm going to go by this order right here. And you get the piece that kind of
Well, yeah, these are
up on the stage.
number names, yeah. We got five or six in the group.
Always get questions.
He's not running for anything, huh? I saw you walking somewhere today. Good for you. I got to start in again. Yeah. It's kind of well, everybody
just narrow it down to 6 seats. Then we'll make them
No. Robert Taylor was your dad. From Kent.
Get it done in half, and then it's done the rest of it done. Stand on chairs and keep it on rooms.
We'll yell at everybody when we're ready. All the cats get on the stage. That's a nice place.
When you have the candidates up on the stage here, you're gonna like to sit.
You're gonna have to sit there too.
You can sit in the back. And then you want to
Showing up or it's lots out of the house. Okay. All right. Okay. City Judge. Wonderful. Thanks so much.
come up to the stage pretty quick.
When I'm greeting them, I'm going to call up on the very the questions. Here. Here, you got one there.
Not a lot. Not this.
Question. I mean, I know we're heading to this. I streamed that video. I think most people well, it's really good. It's an easy thing for us. But it's nothing compared to what there's really just doing all the technology and stuff.
This time, guys. Bring the chief executive candidates up to the stage after. Draw your name down. Still, I think. Oh no, we got about
10 minutes, 9 minutes. Wait another 5 minutes or so.
yeah. I'll start at 5 minutes. And then grab that microphone very close to you. That'll be your microphone. Unless you're not this one.
No, it doesn't matter. I can use either one.
Or
It's fine. Would you rather?
put it wherever you want.
please?
No problem.
We can- Bring Carrie over the mic. He'll be in this. He's right here.
Just about now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's forum for Butte-Silver Bow contested candidates. At this time, we'd like to ask the candidates, other than Chief Executive, to come on up to the stage, find a chair, make yourselves comfortable so we can all get a good look at you. We'll be starting in about 5 minutes. We're going to be live on KBMF tonight. So we'll start right at 7 o'clock and get it going. Everybody but Chief Executive at this time, please. The format for the first part of the evening will be, we're going to go through the candidates list. We're going to bring everybody up here in order that they're on the list. We'll bring up the candidates for the auditor, city judge, etc., and we'll bring everybody up in order. The candidates will have 3 minutes in which to introduce themselves, state their positions, let us know why they're running for office, and whatever else they just want to share with us, okay? At that point, if anybody has any questions and we haven't used up their 3 minutes, go ahead, we can entertain a question from the floor if anybody care to ask anything. Other than that, then we'll just move on to the next candidate. We're going to try to keep things going as fast as we can for the candidates themselves, kind of keep a track of where you're at on the list. When the person ahead of you is speaking, just be ready to go so we can get right through this. We've got a lot of people and we want to give everybody a fair shake. We will be starting right about 7 o'clock. 2 minute warning, okay?
2 minute warning. Okay.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, that's there, Matt. On behalf of the Greeley Coalition, Greeley Neighborhood Community Coalition, we'd like to say thank you for coming this evening. We passed out cards. I'm going to be collecting those cards here very shortly. So if you've got a question for the chief executive candidates, please write those on the cards ASAP, and then we will prioritize them and give them to the moderators. So if you have a question, go ahead and write it out now, and I'll be picking them up in just a few minutes, just before we start the other candidates.
I can't write them down. I'll write them down.
Okay, has anybody got questions on the cards?
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to officially welcome everybody to the Contested Candidates Forum for the Butte-Silver Bowl candidates for public office. We'd like to thank Mr. Ed Vanderoff. This was his brainchild, brought us all together here, him and the Greeley Coalition. He approached Robin and I's staff at the Butte Weekly to help him organize this thing and throw a little publicity, and I'd like to thank Robin for doing all the work that she did on it. My name's Dave Jordan. I'll be calling the candidates up. We got a lot of people to get through here, so we're going to try to go as quickly as possible, okay? Right now, I'd like everybody to stand, face the flags. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. God bless us. God bless America. All right. The first lucky candidate that I'd like to bring up, the group that we're going to bring up this time is for auditor. I'd like to welcome Mary Serini to the stage, and the mic over there is yours.
My name is Mary Serini, and I'm running for a Butte-Silver Bowl auditor's position to honor my brother, Dr. Peter M. Serini. In 1989, Peter volunteered to join the United States Army Medical Reserve Corps, stating that his reason for doing so was, quote, "I just thought that I should do more." I'm also running for this position because I, like Peter, thought that I should do more. I want to spend the rest of my career in a full-time public service position, such as this one, where I can do a greater good for Butte and Butte people. The auditor basically examines Butte's internal financial accounts and records to ensure that taxpayer dollars are being spent wisely. It would be an honor and a privilege for me to serve Butte and Butte people in this position. Thank you for your time, and vote in the 2016 primary general elections.
Thank you, Mary. Next person I'd like to bring up, running for auditor also, Hank Hockaday.
Hi, how's it going? My name's Hank Hockaday, and as he said, I'm running for auditor for Butte-Silver Bowl. The reason I'm running is I love Butte, and this is where I want to grow up, and I thought it'd be a good experience for a young guy like me to get his face out there, and I feel like I could bring new energy and to the position. Sorry, I'm not very prepared for this, but let me see. Basically, I just like to say I love Butte, and sorry, getting writer's block here, but I or talker's block. I wanted to do this because I feel like, you know, the government, how do I say this, is supposed to work for the people. And that's the philosophy I'd bring into this position. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Hank.
No, no questions, only for the chief executive.
Thank you, Hank. The next candidate for auditor, Cheryl Ralph.
Hello, I'm Cheryl Ralph. One of the things that attracted me to the auditor position is I believe it's a position that you can make as much difference in as you put in effort. And I believe in putting in effort. I've since my kids were toddlers and they're in their 20s now, I've been volunteering around town, just trying to make Butte a better place. I started with the Festival of Trees when the kids were little and went through Girl Scouts and PTO and the Central Advisory Council. I've been on the Symphony Board. One thing I did was host 7 different foreign exchange students. And I was shocked the other night when I added up, I have a total of 44 months hosting international kids. I'm currently on the Symphony Guild still, and I enjoy being out there and just working to make things better. Today I was thinking about tonight, as I was out at my job at the Port of Montana, I was out in the yard writing down the hours on all the equipment and physically verifying that all of our assets are still in place. That's one of the policies that I implemented as the financial manager out there. Every year we make sure that every single asset is still physically there. I believe that's a policy that should be implemented in Port of Montana, or in Butte-Silver Bow as well. Things like this make a big difference. It dissuades dishonesty, and at the same time, it protects the people that are doing things right. Nothing I hate more than seeing somebody question an employee or someone, and nobody can back them up because nobody's checked. The auditor position is about installing confidence in what's going on in Butte-Silver Bow. You need a person there who has their eye on the ball and is paying attention to what's going on and reporting back to people. I'd like to start making monthly reports to the Council of Commissioners, just so that the people know what is happening. A lot of people don't know what the responsibilities of the auditor are, so here they are. To examine the accuracy and legality of the financial transactions, to determine if policies and procedures are carried out. It's not just financial, it's also policy and procedure. To make sure that assets are accounted for and wasteful practices are disclosed. I can't read my own handwriting. And finally, to make sure that the financial statements fairly represent the government's financial position. The auditor should certainly participate in finding solutions to any deficiencies found in the CAFR, and I would plan on starting to work with the Finance and Budget Office to provide as much as I can. Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl. Also for auditor, Michael Tutty.
Good evening. I made the decision to run for auditor about 8 months ago. And at the time, it wasn't a big deal. Everybody told me, if you're going to be auditor, make sure you know how to do decorations, make sure you know how to cook, make sure you know what holidays are important. And I thought, it's not what I remember the auditor's job as being. I thought, I got too much background in doing the other stuff to think that that's what we've come to. And yet I found that a lot of the duties had been, what's the word they use, bleached or removed or set aside. And to me, that's a problem, because the more stuff that you take away from a position that's elected, the more that moves to a position that's appointed, and then you don't have, for lack of a better term, any transparency. So I spent 9 years in the Air Force, and I learned a whole lot about how to make sure that things are working right, where accountability is. Then I went to Carroll, got a degree in accounting, double majored in business finance, and started working at the Copper King. And that taught me a whole lot, not just about the different forms of accounting for hospitality, learned a whole lot about unions, because we had, when I was there, we had the last 3 union contracts in a hotel. They filed a petition to decertified, so I sat through the entire process and learned everything there was to know about that, which was more than I wanted to. But then I also learned that when you have a business that's run by someone from out of town, there's a whole lot more that needs to be said than, yeah, it's a great business if you do it right, but you can't run a business in Butte like you do one in Seattle. It doesn't work. You can have a 4-star and a 5-star hotel and restaurant in Seattle, and you can charge accordingly. And if you do that in Butte, you'll have a vacant lot in 6 months. It took him 3 years, but that's what he eventually did. He ran everybody out. So then I went to work for Gilman Construction, and since then I've been learning all there is to know about the certified payrolls and the accounting that goes along with that. And I thought, my next step is to help so that I finally understand everything that everybody's been telling me. You need to get involved. You need to have bigger say. So why don't you run for? And I said, I think I understand the auditor position. I think what's been bleached out, what's been removed, I think we can work to get it back, or to work with the different offices and at least get some of that back so that everybody's not overwhelmed. And so my whole goal is, let's get Butte back to the way Butte was instead of the way Bozeman is. Thanks.
Thank you, Michael. Next up, also for auditor, it's Mike Sheehy.
Thank you. I'm running for auditor because about 26 years ago, I set out and ran for commissioner. And the first 5 or 6 doors I knocked on, a couple said to me, well, you don't know too much about being a commissioner, do you? And I said, no, you're right. But since I've been knocking on doors now, they asked me about the auditor job. That is something I understand. And the 20 years that I was on the commission, we studied the budget before passage. We looked at the budget every week for 20 years. And I used to recite those numbers when people would ask things. I knew what budget line they came from. I'm also interested in this job because I think it's a job we can make better. We could make it work for the public and tie it with some help through the finance and budget department. You know, when like Tuddy was talking about it being bleached, we can never go backwards. You can't put the genie in the bottle, essentially back in the bottle, but we could, because Danette Gleason is such a great person, we could work together. And you remember Katie Murray? Katie Murray was the auditor, and she was the payroll clerk. I mean, you know, I don't want to do that, but I mean, you know, so that long ago, Katie Murray had that many duties, and it has shrunk to what it is. But we can make it a great job again and make it work for the county.
You know, the other thing I found out this time from knocking on doors, a lot of people don't vote anymore. And I was really surprised, you know, some of them old neighbors I just figured were there are gone, and the people that are living in their homes aren't registered. So, you know, you guys are obviously voters or you wouldn't be here tonight. So I think we should try to build clubs, voting clubs, only to create voting memories maybe. In my neighborhood, the Farrens lived down the street, and old man Farren ran for alderman, and the polling place was in his garage. Hard to take, really, because he said, I got my ass kicked in my own garage tonight. So he dined out on that for years. So really, I think I could be a great auditor. I think I could be Katie Murray auditor, and I'd love your support. And thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you, Mike. Also for auditor, Jeff Ammerman.
As a CPA with 29 years professional experience in accounting and auditing, I'm best qualified to be your next auditor. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jeff Ammerman. I'm a Butte native. I graduated from Butte High. I served in the United States Army Military Police Corps in Texas and Germany. I graduated from Montana Tech with a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration. As I mentioned, I'm a certified public accountant, and I've held a wide array of jobs over the last 29 years. The ones that are most relevant to this position are, I was an auditor for a regional CPA firm. We audited financial institutions and nonprofits. I was an internal auditor at Northwestern Energy, where we implemented Sarbanes-Oxley, which relates to documenting internal controls, policies, processes, and procedures. I also served as a finance and budget director for Butte-Silver Bow. The Office of the Auditor is designed to be a watchdog over the finances of Butte-Silver Bow. Duties of the auditor include examining the government's financial transactions to ensure they are correct, legal, reliable, and accurate. The auditor is obligated to review the stewardship of public officials. Simply put, the job of the auditor is to look out for the taxpayer. So why am I running for auditor? Somebody needs to be looking out for the taxpayer. Somebody needs to be fighting for the taxpayer. This was a priority for me while serving 9 years as Butte-Silver Bow Finance and Budget Director. I worked hard to save the taxpayers money. We did several bond refundings, saving taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars each time. We improved the bond rating in the water utility division on the water bonds, and we received a GO bond rating for the first time in the history of Butte-Silver Bow, once again saving taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars. I testified on both the House and Senate side of the legislature when the state was proposing to help balance the state budget on our back, local taxpayers, by raiding the metal mines tax money. So I took my little copper bar up to the legislature and testified on both the House side and the finance side, and I explained to them by drawing out this little model, $1 of every taxes from the metal mines, 75% goes to the state, the rest stays local. This is the bottom line, is what the local government gets to spend. They were saying this wasn't enough and this was too much. When I went up and explained it to them, they decided maybe that wasn't correct, and we got to keep the money that we had. I did that on my own time. I didn't have to do that, but I remember driving up in a snowstorm in order to fight on behalf of the Butte-Silver Bow taxpayers. Also, during my time at Butte-Silver Bow, I assisted the Department of Justice in prosecuting and removing a corrupt Butte-Silver Bow employee for stealing taxpayer resources. I also assisted our outside counsel in the civil case to recover $120,000 for the taxpayers. You work hard for your money. As auditor, I will utilize my skills and experience to protect your tax dollars. So on June 7th, please vote Ammerman for auditor. Thank you.
Also for auditor, Wendy Allen McGrath.
Hi, my name is Wendy Allen McGrath. I'm a proud Butte native and have lived my entire life in Butte, besides the 2 years I went to Bozeman while attending MSU. My parents are Jack and Becky Allen, and I am the youngest of 3 kids. I am married to Dan McGrath, and together we have raised wonderful children. I obtained a bachelor's degree in computer science, business administration systems with an accounting emphasis. And that was from Montana Tech. And I have continued my education through the years by taking numerous classes and seminars to stay up to date on the accounting GASB and GAAP updates that have been implemented or enhanced. I believe that I am the best choice as auditor for the city and county of Butte-Silver Bow. First and foremost, I'd like to touch base on one issue that has been many people question. Why do we need an auditor's office? I am fully aware that the past 2 study commissions have recommended to eliminate and change that position. I was and still completely against that recommendation and believe that is an essential department that we cannot afford to lose. My goal, if elected, is to enhance the position to make it a more functional and vital part of Butte-Silver Bow. The 23 years I have been employed with Butte-Silver Bow, I feel more than confident that I have the qualifications, education, and experience to move this position forward so that it will not only benefit the departments, employees, and elected officials, but will benefit you, the taxpayers and citizens of Butte-Silver Bow. Over the years, I have had the privilege of working for 3 different departments with the county besides the finance and budget department I am currently located in. A couple of them being the public works and transit. It has given me the chance to work closely to the different areas and see how each department functions independently. I know that I will be able to add value where it is needed if given the opportunity. For the past 15 years, working in the finance and budget department has given me the resources, experience, and added education to further my job performance as an accountant. I perform many duties that can be transferred to the auditor's office if elected. Currently, I'm responsible for reviewing and reconciling all bank statements the Butte-Silver Bow has accounts with. I assist in the yearly budget process and financial statements. I record and reconcile all accounts receivable and fixed assets for every department and recently implement a new accounts receivable and fixed asset module within our accounting system. My most recent duty was being assigned acting administrator for the P-card system we are hoping to implement if approved by the Council of Commissioners. I hope to have your vote on June 7th in the next election.
Thank you very much, Wendy. That concludes all of our candidates for auditor. The next candidates will be for city judge. We'd like to start off with James Revis.
Thank you, Ed and Robin, for inviting me to this forum today. Everyone, my name is James Revis, and I'm running to be your next city judge of Butte. The Butte City Court is the court that has jurisdiction over misdemeanors and city ordinances. It is the court that impacts you. I am running for 3 reasons. I have the qualifications for the office. I want our local courts to treat its people with fairness and respect. And I have ideas that will improve our community moving forward. My qualifications. I have a bachelor's in history and global politics from Washington State University. I have a Juris Doctor from the University of Montana. I also have a master's in public administration with a focus in government management from the Middlebury Institute of International Studies. I am an attorney that is licensed to practice in all Montana and federal courts. As an attorney, I have handled hundreds of cases before the Butte City Court. I have also handled felonies in our district courts and appeals before the Montana Supreme Court. I have litigated everything from a no insurance ticket to an attempted deliberate homicide. Whether the case that comes before me in city court is a DUI or a dog bite ticket, I am ready to go from day one, no on-the-job training required. I want to run a courtroom that will treat you with fairness and respect. I know that many of you who have come up to the 4th floor, you or a friend or relative, has not always had the most pleasant experience. As your city judge, I feel that it's very important. In fact, it is my legal obligation to carefully inform you of what your charges are, when your court date is, and how you proceed moving forward. And even if the people who come up to the court are rude to the staff, we're going to answer your questions with a smile on our face, because that is what showing the people of Butte respect is all about. I have many ideas on how we can use our community, use our courts to make our community better. I'm going to just share one of them with you tonight. Butte, Montana is the only major city, Butte America is the only major city in Montana that does not have a community service program for adult offenders. Our next city judge needs another option besides fines and a jail sentence. We can have lawbreakers pick up trash, maybe plant a community garden, or scoop poop at the animal shelter. Community service will hold offenders accountable while also helping out the people of Butte. There's community service in Bozeman, Helena, Kalispell, Billings. Every city has done it. I know that we can do it too, because this is the can-do town that can make it happen. I have additional information on my website, revsforjudge.com, and I would ask for your vote. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, James. Second candidate, Glenn Granger, couldn't make it tonight. So we're moving on to Commissioner for District Number 4. We'll start off with Terry Schelt.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and thanks for accommodating me. Some of you may not know this, but I fell down a flight of stairs about 4 years ago and ended up with a MRSA infection in my leg. And if any of you had any experience, it was first, I was lucky to be told might lose my leg, or your life. And it's been a long haul back, but I'm now off crutches and stuff and continue to recover, but I appreciate the accommodation. I've got to tell you that I'm running for Commissioner of District 4, and I'm not running against Mr. Sorich. He has my respect and admiration. I voted for John when he ran for the office and supported him in his election, and didn't run until he didn't seek re-election. And now I find that I am running for the office against him, and it's not because I dislike him or anything he's done, because I think he's a good and honorable man. But the reason I'm running is I've lived in the district for almost 50 years. And over the 50 years, I've seen so many changes down here on the flats. It's like all the progress has passed over us, like we're the hole in the donut. And our neighborhoods have gotten older. The kids I coached in Little League, the scouts that I was troop leader for, have all moved away. And now we have a lot of retired people. There's 3 widows on my block. And the worst thing, though, is seeing the decay. Now, I've lived through strikes and as a kid, and we've all had hard times, and we still made it. But you made hard decisions. You decided that, we buy the old car instead of the new car because you can't afford it. We don't eat out every night because you just don't have the money for it, and it ain't good for you. But I think we need to make some hard decisions in Butte, and we need to make improvements that benefit the taxpayer. Things like streets, water lines. My goodness, people, if you've seen anything with Flint, Michigan, and other cities around this country, water infrastructure is a big thing. On my street alone, I have 4 patches for broken water lines that were repaired. Those lines don't need to be patched, they need to be replaced. And that means it might be at the expense of doing some of this other stuff that we'd like to do, but those are the things that are going to improve our property values. It's going to improve the quality of life for the widows on my street, and they're going to improve your life. We need sidewalks. We need better roads. We need lighting. You're in a neighborhood right now that Okay, I'm sorry. Please, if you want to vote for improvement, give me a look and I'll do what I can for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerry. Also running for Commissioner District Number 4, John Sorge.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming out tonight. We've got a great crowd. Most I've seen in here in a long time. So anyways, my name is John Sorge, and I'm running for District 4, to be reelected. I'm the current commissioner. We got a fully packed agenda tonight, so I'm going to be very brief, so won't be here till midnight. A little bit myself. I was born and raised in the neighborhood of the Racetrack area with an old Greeley kid. I've been married 30 years plus, have two grown children, and I'm currently on the Berkeley Pitt Education Committee, the Pitt Watch, and the Butte-Silver Bowl Fair Board. And after I serve off this term as commissioner, I can say I've proudly served Butte-Silver Bowl and people at District 4 for 12 years, which I believe is an advantage for me, because I have developed solid professional relationships with the executive staff, other elected officials, and commissioners that makes things to get done easier. I believe you get more with honey than you do with vinegar. Some of the things I've done very briefly is I helped the good firemen of this Racetrack Fire Hall with the funding for the siding that's currently being installed now. I'm working with the community development director on trying to find some funding for storm and curb and water on the north side of 10 blocks on the north side of Grand Avenue. I've worked with the community decay people on some cleanup properties in the area. And last but not least, I've worked with the CCCS on trying to develop a cleanup program for keeping our walking trails clean. That's only to name a few. What do I want to do if I'm reelected? What I want to do if I'm reelected, I'd like to work with other elected officials and commissioners to find creative ways for street repairs. Also, I believe that we need to foster the ideals as a government for young people and youth in our community, such as a new swimming pool. I believe we need the new swimming pool. We're having a baseball park built. We're having the carousel built. We've got a lot of good things here to we got a lot of reasons why young people want to live in Butte. We got to do a better job of wanting people to stay in Butte. So anyways, I also believe that we as a government, we need to get tougher on community decay. That includes junk vehicles, camp trailers. That's a big one. I get a lot of calls for camp trailers. People can't see around the camp trailers, old camp trailers, new camp trailers. And I also receive communications from individuals about how community blight affects their property values, which I strongly agree with. Anyways, I said I was going to be brief, and I put a whole lot of stuff in a small package, but at the end of the day, I believe I've done a good job as your commissioner in District 4, and I will look forward to serving another term, and I would appreciate your consideration for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John. Now we're moving on to the candidates for Commissioner of District Number 8. We're starting off with Ed Pape.
Thank you for inviting me, first of all. I appreciate it. And although the Butte Weekly, thank you. Although the Butte Weekly calls me Mr. Pate and the Standard calls me Mr. Page, it's technically Mr. Pape, P-A-P-E. So I just wanted to clarify that. Also, a mix-up in the paper on the 14th. I didn't check my spam very well and wasn't able to respond to the Standards article. I just want to make it clear I'm not unresponsive. I just didn't respond because I didn't know I needed to. I moved here in 1975. I graduated from Montana State University with a BS K through 12 education. Spent 18 years in the Marine Corps, and I'm a disabled veteran. Spent 16 years working in a psych hospital with troubled kids, and I spent the last 18 years as a small business owner and employer right here in Butte. As far as a couple of issues, I think currently we disappropriately allocate money to bigger business, and technically big business is huge. We don't have much of that, period, in Montana. But what I mean is big is these big motels, et cetera, compared to mom and pop shops. I think they get a lot of our money, and small businesses go out of business, even though they've been in business for years. I don't think I need to name them. I think a lot of you know, even around here, the businesses that have gone out because they don't get help from our local government. Instead, these big motels, restaurants, et cetera, get that money. As far as waivers for property tax that go to big construction companies, which I've seen happen just recently, I don't think they were truthful with the council. I don't think the council checked into their allegations that landlords were raising rent and that property wasn't available for renters or low-income housing in Butte. And I don't know if they approved it because nobody would answer my questions at the council. But if they did approve it, I think that was a big waste of money, in my opinion. Our local government uses the excuse that money comes from TIFID or from the rock, what do they call it? The hard rock mining fund, et cetera, et cetera. You still got to realize a lot of that money is still your tax money. It's just not your local property tax money. It might come from the federal or state. Some comes from big companies, but a lot of it's matched by your tax dollars. We need a simpler format to communicate with our local government. I've gone up to so many council meetings, and it's just a waste of time. You don't get a response from them. You don't even get a response often from your own commissioner unless you really apply yourself and make a lot of phone calls. A lot of times they say no dialogue between the public and the commission. Wow, that was fast. But I often see there is dialogue. I want to thank you again for coming. I've got a lot more issues that I'd really like to help you with, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Also, Commissioner for District Number 8, Walter Parrott.
Chicken and pig were walking down the road one day and they saw a sign. And on that sign it said, ham and eggs, $6.99. And the chicken looked at the sign and said, you know, someday I'm going to be real proud to make a contribution to that. And the pig looked a little warily, but also was proud. And he said, I can see why you're going to be proud to make a contribution. But for me, when my time comes, it'll be a total commitment. I am running for commissioner in District 8 to make a commitment to Butte-Silver Bow. I am a substitute teacher for school district number 1. I am that Mr. Parrott that your kids or grandkids may have spoken about. I am dedicated and love my job. I have also been heavily involved in the Butte Bowling Association for the past 24 years, serving on its board, and the last 7 years as its president. And I don't know if you saw it, but on the in the Standard yesterday, there were 8 kids from our organization that qualified for the National Scholarship Tournament sponsored by Pepsi in Indianapolis. We have a very strong program that we have built, and I'm very proud of it and all of the people in our organization. And I just want to bring that commitment that I have had to the kids of Butte and to our organization to Butte-Silver Bow now, because I think that I could be an asset. And so I would like your support. Both Walt Parrott for Commissioner in District 8, working together, we can make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. Commissioner for District Number 8, Brenda McDonough.
Thank you, and thanks to the Butte Weekly and Ed for the forum tonight. I'm Brendan McDonough. I'm the current commissioner in District 8, vast district. I'm a very responsive, I believe. A little background about myself. I'm a Butte native, born and raised. I'm a graduate of Butte Central. I graduated in 1998 with a Bachelor of Science from Montana Tech. I'm currently enrolled in the Master of Science for Technical Communication at Montana Tech. For the Butte-Silver Bowl government, I serve on the Budget and Finance Committee, the Judiciary Committee, and the Public Works Committee. I'm also on the Butte Airport Authority Board and the Ramsey-Tiffin District. All of these boards affect you greatly as citizens of Butte-Silver Bow, as well as the citizens of District 8. I think that we've been very proactive in making a lot of improvement in the last 3 years in Butte. I'd like to continue that work. There's lots of infrastructure and improvement that's happened in 3 years as I've been involved, and I think that I'm a very good team player and am very astute to working with others within the Butte-Silver Bow government, as well as staying on top of the issues that affect us also greatly. Some very exciting accomplishments, I think, for all of us in this room. We have great infrastructure improvements, a new water treatment plant, a new metro treatment plant. We're coming out with a new parking garage in the Uptown that will serve the Uptown. We'll have a new terminal at the Butte Airport that's going to come under construction. All of these infrastructure pieces have been done very fiscally responsible. We've been very fiscally responsible with these issues. I'm always available. You can reach me at any time. I'm very responsive. We've been very proactive in District 8 in getting out and talking with the people. We've had great infrastructure improvements just in the district itself. We're very proactive in responding to any concerns that anybody has. Even though we run for a district, we also represent folks on votes that affect the entire community. So even though we run for a specific area, we represent the citizens of Butte-Silver Bow. I think that I've been very involved. I've also had a lot of community involvement that keeps my interest in Butte current. I was the first coordinator of the National Folk Festival here in Butte. I've worked with the Irish Festival for 14 years. I'm a good team player. I would appreciate your support. And if you have concerns, I'm always available and at your need. Thank you.
Thank you, Brendan. And now for Commissioner District Number 12, Michael Tumulty.
Thank you, David Robin. I appreciate this opportunity to speak to everyone. Can I see a show of hands of who's from District 12 in here right now? Well, that's about less than a 12th of this whole room right now. That's too bad. Well, to those of you here, I am your candidate for Commissioner of District 12. Now, 1 through 11, listen up, because this does affect you. As he had just said a moment ago, I am 1/12 of the vote that affects you as well. So if you know somebody in my district, you're going to want to relay this to them. I am a small business owner. I've been a small business owner for 10 years. I have honed my business acumen to lead a company that serves people nationally, making deals for shipping, freight, logistics. It's rather a simple business to do if you have a good ability to adjust a workflow, to observe deficits and needs that clients might have. This is something that I bring to the table for my district because we don't necessarily need the same things that 1 through 11 need, but we're affected by what everyone in the county does need. So I'm hoping that people listen to what I have to say. They'll understand that I'm a caring representative. I'm someone who listens, is responsive. I couldn't do what I've done for 10 years without answering that phone call on the first ring. I'm hoping that you'll let me be your representative. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Milton. Michael. Excuse me. Also, Commissioner District Number 12, Dan Callahan.
Hi, I'm Dan Callahan. I'm a lifelong citizen of District 12. 2 months ago, I had no intentions of running for this office. I was at a meeting with the executives over there at MRI and about half of the commissioners over this big thing they got going on with MRI with the Tailem ponds. The landowners up there, it's the largest investment that MRI is putting into the company since they've opened. We've been had numerous meetings with MRI executives, and anyway, we're dealing with MRI over the increase of 100 feet of the Tailem ponds up there. And after the meeting was over, there was some of the executive or the commissioners pulled me aside and says, you know, now that Dave Palmer, which has been a 20-year commissioner up in District 12, I'd like to thank Dave for 20 years, good years. They said that, you know, we need somebody to run. There isn't a lot of interest in District 12. So they says, you know, you're involved in a lot of this stuff. So could we talk you into running? And I really wasn't too sure I wanted to run, but I spent a lot of time with a lot of nonprofits in town, and I'm involved in a lot of meetings with like MRI and other things. So I thought, well, what the heck, I'll give it a shot and see what I can do for the district and the city of Butte. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dan. All right, now, Justice of the Peace number 2. We're starting off with Ben Pesdart.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for being able to come and speak today, and all of you for coming and listening, and more importantly, having to jump through all the stuff that all of these people here have created for you to jump through. Most of you here are their family and their friends, and without that type of support, they wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be here, any of us would be here. And the fact that you're all here, I really appreciate. I've been your judge for the last 4 years in Butte, and first of all, I want to tell you, it has been one of the most humbling and interesting jobs I've ever done. I can't wait to go to work every day. I love my job. Prior to being in the judge, I worked in corrections and addictions for 25 years. Most of the people that I see every day are moving towards that situation. They're working through public health. They're working through being either adjudicated to go into a correction or go into a jail or get them the help that they actually need. I've got extensive knowledge working with low socioeconomic issues in our community. There are a great deal of things we need to do to work harder as judge to get things in our community taken care of. I do agree we are the only place in Montana that does not have community service for adult offenders or enough community service for all of the offenders that could be working out there doing things. Sentencing people to fines that they can't pay is not helping them, and it's not helping our community, but it's also creating situations where we're paying for an awful lot of people not to be productive. As judge, I've adjudicated or I've sat over 200 contract disputes, 250 landlord-tenant disputes, 240 orders of protection, and during that time with the orders of protections, I've also created an advisory group that helps deal with the issues of empowerment with both men and women and children in our community. I'm a Butte Central graduate. I've worked for, I graduated from Montana Tech with an OSH degree. I've dealt with codes for a great long time. Federal codes are not as exciting as the Montana code annotated can be, and sometimes that's not really excited in itself. But it's there for a reason, and the experience of using that and communicating every day what the law is, why the law is, and why people are there. The Justice Court, when I took over, I'm one of the very few candidates that actually jumped in after I was elected, the day after I was elected. 2 weeks later, I was tested by the Montana Supreme Court and passed that test, and I've tested twice since, one more time since then. I've gone through 8 different trainings through the Montana Supreme Court every 6 months since I've been judge, and it's that information and that experience that makes me come to the bench, do my job, get people where they need to be. So with that, thanks for your time. Please vote Ben Pesdart. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ben. Now, also for Justice of the Peace number 2, Jim Kilmer.
Thank you very much to the Jordans and Ed for organizing this. We couldn't have done it without you. And the servicemen and women that are in the audience, appreciate your service to this country. And Ben, thanks for your service. We appreciate your service. And Mike from the media, thanks for being here. I'm Jim Kilmer. I'm running for Justice of the Peace. I've lived in Butte my entire life, all 55 years. I'm not leaving. I I kind of like the work that I'm doing, but right now in the political arena, I dislike the self-promotion thing that you have to do to run for office. It's really uncomfortable and it's really expensive. So I appreciate the people that have supported my campaign and please give your money to Crime Stoppers or Mariah's Challenge or the Food Bank or something. We'll pay our way, even though it is expensive. I'm not running for any political reason. I'm running to give back to the people of Butte. I've dedicated 36 years of my life to the law enforcement department and to service in this community. Those years have taught me a couple things. One, people matter. Not for any reason other than they're just people. They matter. The other thing is people want to be treated fairly and they want to be treated with decency and respect. And I've built my whole career on that, treating people the way you want to be treated. So with that, a couple things that I've done over the years, whether it's organizing a drug take-back day or on TV reminding you to take, lock, and hide, take your keys, lock your car, hide your belongings, or if I'm on the radio reminding you that driving under the influence isn't a good idea and seatbelts are. Whether it's teaching your kids in the schools, whether it's in the DARE program or internet safety, by the way, we're doing that class Wednesday night out at the EOC if you want to join us. It's free, 7 o'clock. Or whether it's serving on the Butte Cares Board, Crime Stoppers, Neighborhood Watch, Mariah's Challenge co-founder, Suicide Prevention Committee, Attorney General's Advisory Committee for Law Enforcement, Special Olympics, Torch Run, and just a number of things in our community that makes our community a better place and a safer place. Vote Jim Kilmer with 2 M's. Line 2 on your ballot. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jim. Now, running for public administrator, starting off with Jean Jokey Tanner.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having me. I'm Jean Jokey Tanner. I'm running for public administrator. I was born and raised and lived my whole life in Butte. I graduated from Girls Central High School and Butte Business College. I worked for Roberts Rocky Mountain Equipment for several years as his corporate secretary and accountant. When I retired, I went doing a lot of volunteering work, especially tutoring children at 2nd and 3rd grade level in math, which I think is a very important subject in your life. Then I volunteered at St. James Community Hospital Auxiliary for several years, twice a week. And there I discovered how important it was to help people and how many people have so few to help them. So I decided to run for public administrator. There I found that there's so many people that have no one. They can't even have the help to bury their families, and they need someone to help them and work with them and have some compassion. I've worked with several lawyers and I've worked well with people in my jobs and at the courthouse, and especially well with Judge Kruger and several lawyers. And I do feel I'm very qualified to help these people. They're there's so many that have no one. And I feel this is something I can do because I'm well qualified and have worked quite a while doing it. Also, I've done guardianships for people. They're in rest homes, they have no one, and I go in and take care of their money and make sure they're taken care of at hospitals and other things. And I'm looking forward to being reelected because I do think I'm qualified and able to handle my job very well. And I want to thank you, and I hope you will give me a vote.
Thank you very much, Dean. And now also for Public Administrator, Janice M. Casarato.
Good evening. Thank you for coming out. Thank you, sponsors. And thank you for inviting me. My name is Janice Casarato. I am a local area native from Boulder. My grandfather was the first settler on Elk Park, so I've got deep roots around here. I'm a candidate for Butte-Silver County Public Administrator, and I'm over 18. I'm a registered voter. I'm an attorney working primarily in civil law, and my work has generally involved elder and disabled individuals, property law, estates, probate, bankruptcy. I have a Juris Doctor from UNLV Boyd School of Law, BA, UNLV College of Urban Affairs, an Associate of Science in Paralegal Studies from College of Great Falls, undergraduate communications courses through Montana Tech, and several degree certifications from Highlands College. There is no one description of the people the public administrator serves. They may include elderly people with no family, individuals of any age with debilitating mental illness, minor individuals with assets that must be managed by someone other than a family member, and incapacitated individuals whose family or potential guardian or conservators appointees cannot serve or cannot agree. A public administrator is often responsible for placement, medical consent, educational habilitation plans, finances, and general health and safety for each individual they're appointed to assist. In Montana, a public administrator must report annually to the appointing court on the financial and physical well-being of the people that the court appoints them to. It is a position with no salary, but by statute may assess a fee against an estate. My reasons for entering the campaign are threefold. First, the public administrator's office is an area where I feel I can give back to the community. I'm familiar with and have worked in many cases of the type often assigned to the public administrator, and in fact, I've worked with the incumbent on cases assigned to her. I bring a great education, a heart to help the people, loyalty, reliability, accountability. My calling is as a problem solver, a helper, an officer of the court, and a willing servant. If elected, I offer those qualities of character and willingness. Thank you, and I appreciate your vote.
Thank you very much, Janice. The next two candidates are for sheriff. We're going to start off with Russell W. Robertson.
Thank you. My name's Russ Robertson. I've been with the police department for 24 years. I've been a supervisor on the street for the last 11. I'm running because I think there needs to be changes within the department itself. I think we have budget issues and personnel issues that need to be fixed, and they can only be fixed by a major change. I'll give you one example of budget issues, and this revolves around administrative pay. In the last calendar year, the 47 officers that worked the street, detectives, back office officers, collected just over $80,000 in comp time earned overtime. The 4 administrators, $43,000. $40,000 of it in non-work time. I think that's a problem. Also, with regards to that, I think there's other budget issues. I could go into a lot of them, but I won't because we don't have enough time. I'll get the buzzer. The crime statistics for Butte-Silver Bow, and this is astonishing. The drugs are up 44%, drug crimes. I think that's appalling. And I think we need to do something like yesterday. We need to take a bigger role in that. Our drug dog, I think our drug dog is not being used hardly enough. It's a great idea, and no matter who came up with it, the drug dog was an awesome idea, but it has to be used. It can't ride around in a car. We have to constantly use it and go after the people that are causing us the problems. The morale problems, and I believe there's a morale problem within the department. And this morale problem is caused by absolutely by decisions from the higher ups within that department. And is it department wide? No, probably not. The majority, absolutely, I would say so, because I deal with these people every day. I talk to them every day. And the only way to fix that is to make sure that all these people are informed and we're putting the right people in the right positions. We can't place someone in a position because I don't like this guy. And I'm not saying that's happening. I'm saying it's believed that it's happening. And if we have an evaluation program, things like that we don't have now, there's no evaluation to put the right people in the right position. It's just the top guys saying this is the right guy. So I think if we utilize that, an evaluation system, and our man hours are not being utilized correctly. From all the people on the street to detectives to everyone else. I think we need to change that also. And the budget. If we have to use our budget in the most effective and efficient way. Taxpayers' dollars run out. We can't ask for more if we can't say that we're spending this money correctly. And the man hours, all we have to do is adjust a few things and things will work well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Russell. Also for Sheriff Ed Lester.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the Butte Weekly for organizing this event, as well as the Greeley Coalition. Important that people have the opportunity to get out and not only read letters or articles in the paper or mailers or whatever we're talking about, but to meet the candidates and ask questions of each candidate. So thank you all for coming. As Dave said, I'm Ed Lester. I'm the sheriff here in Butte-Silver Bow. I've been the sheriff for about 3.5 years. I'm a lifelong Butte resident. My wife, June, and I are raising 3 kids. Tash is 17, Egan is 13, and Nick is 11. So I have a tremendous interest in keeping this community safe. And that's why I've spent the last 26 years of my life working for the police department here, and of course the last 3.5 years as your sheriff. As I said, the 26 years have been spent in a number of different positions. I worked in patrol as a patrol officer and as a sergeant, as a supervisor. I also worked as the school resource officer for 5 years. I was the first school resource officer at Butte High School. I worked then as a detective for the most part, I worked on sexual and violent crimes. I'm proud to say that over the last, minus the last 3.5 years until that time, for the previous 10 years, I worked on almost every major criminal incident that occurred here in Butte-Silver Bow. I was the lead agent in a number of high-profile cases, and not the least of which was the Hatfield homicide, which recently concluded with the jury bringing a guilty verdict. This was a case that lasted 7 years. It was a science-based case. Lots of science and lots of effort went into that case, and we were able to get a conviction after 7 years. I'd like to talk about 3 programs in particular. One you just heard about from my opponent, the K-9 unit. In 2012, we did not have a K-9 unit. It was one of my platforms in my candidacy that I would get a K-9 unit. I was fortunate enough to partner with the community to get $20,000 donated to start the K-9 program. We now do have a K-9 program up and running, and we're seeing results. We've located a number of methamphetamine finds to include the Lester Oxendine case. That was an individual that dealt $640,000 worth of methamphetamine here at Butte-Silver Bow. The second thing I like to talk about is I've just dedicated a detective to the domestic violence situation here in Butte-Silver Bow. This detective focuses on those cases and can focus to make sure the victim's taken care of throughout the process from start to finish. This was the thing that a lot of times slipped through the cracks. I don't think we're going to see that with this new position that I've assigned to domestic violence cases. I had one more, but doesn't look like I'm going to make it. So I knew I was going to be up against the buzzer. I just ask that you look at the performance, not only over the last 26 years, but specifically over the last 3.5 years. Make your decision, and I think I'm the right candidate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ed. Now, we have 3 candidates running for superintendent of schools. We'll start off with Linda Serini Granger.
Hello, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, I am Linda Serini Granger, and I am running for County Superintendent of Schools. Excuse me. First and foremost, I'd like to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend this forum, and I'd also like to thank the group from Butte Weekly and Mr. Vanderhob and his neighborhood coalition for sponsoring the event. I was born in Butte and have lived here my entire life. I graduated from Butte High School in 1975 and earned my BS degree in Broadfield Business Education from UM Western in 1980. Unable to find a teaching job when I graduated, I went to work as an administrative assistant at what was then First National Bank and worked as an administrative assistant in the commercial and real estate lending areas. And I stayed there for approximately 4 years, and I gained a substantial amount of knowledge about banking and finance while employed there. In 1984, a teaching job became available, and I decided to apply and was fortunate enough to be hired, and my first job was at the Butte Vocational Technical Center, which is now Highlands College of Montana Tech. I just completed my 32nd year, of teaching in the business and accounting technology departments. And in addition to being an instructor, I also serve as the department head and have done so for the last 15 years. As department head, I supervise a staff of full-time and adjunct instructors. I am responsible for the department's budget. I oversee curriculum changes, and I work closely with other departments, making sure that changes are made that do not negatively impact other departments or coursework. I currently serve on the Curriculum Review Committee at Montana Tech, and this group approves or rejects all curriculum changes at both campuses. I just completed serving my 6th year on the School District Number 1 Board of Trustees, which was another very valuable experience for me as I took part in the hiring process, negotiating with a large number of unions, helping to formulate a strategic plan, overseeing a budget, and other day-to-day operations of a large district. I currently serve also on the board of directors for the Butte Chamber of Commerce, and this position has given me much insight into our community and its businesses. Strategic planning is another component of this group, and of course, the chamber works diligently with other groups in the city to attract new businesses and to maintain the relationships that we have with current business owners. I have served on other committees through the years, too numerous to mention, and I've taken part in many professional development activities throughout my 32 years of teaching. I'm very hardworking, I'm a quick learner, and I believe that I have the necessary experience and knowledge to be a very effective county superintendent of schools. Win or lose the election, I believe that all of the candidates are winners for throwing their hats in the ring. In closing, I would like to say hats off to all of the candidates, and I would like to wish all of you good luck in your races. Thank you all for coming, and have a good night.
Thank you very much, Linda. Next up will be Kathy F. Maloney.
Thank you all for inviting me here tonight. Thank you all for coming for the most important position in the county. Oh, I mean, no, not really the most important. They're all really important, but I think this one's the best. So I need to offer some thank yous. First of all, I'd like to thank my opponents. They came out, they made me realize what I've been doing for the last years, and I've reflected on the 8 years and the contributions that I've made to this position. I'm pretty proud of that. I can honestly say that I have the experience of doing the job. Not the experience to do the job, but I have the one, I've done it. It's a fast-paced thing, and no 2 days are ever the same, and I do love it. To my husband of 31 years, Kelly Sean Maloney, thank you for sharing your last name with me. Thank you for taking care and picking up the extra pieces, because I haven't been home for dinner in the last 4 weeks. I'm not complaining, he's just a really good cook, and I'd sure like to settle down so I could be there. To my campaign manager, to my darling daughter Sam and her husband Brody, thank you so much for helping me with parades and the other things you do, proofreading, I suppose. My lovely assistant Donna Mazer, she's not here tonight, but she keeps the office open from 8 to 5. We have office hours required by Montana law, and we do that. We do our best to be there to serve everyone that might need our services. But first, biggest, thank you to the community. Thank you for entrusting me to represent the youngest of the citizens. I work hard to advocate, represent, and protect them. They are the ones that are too young to vote, but they need to have a voice in every conversation. We have 4,762 students in this county. Thank you. I always wanted a big family. They're all mine. Whether they're public, private, rural, or homeschooled, I do not discriminate. I try to provide the same opportunities and information to all of them because I believe they're our most valuable asset. To the teachers, these always choke me up. I'd like to thank them for their efforts. Like me, their job, we make it look fun. That's why everybody wants to do it. That's why so many people are coming out for this job this year. But what it is they give year-round. It may be an 8 to 3:30 job that it looks like that, but we all work year-round. And if the teachers aren't in the classroom, they're preparing their lessons and they're picking up new materials and they're improving their craft. So I'd like to think that I take care of some of the details so that they can go on about their work. What would I be without a visual aid? I'm a teacher. This is a classroom safety chart. I provided these through a grant that I wrote for, and I outfitted every school in the county and the daycares with this material. I work hard for the county. I like my job. I love the people, and I'm happy to represent you. So I hope that you will continue to have me, and thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Kathy. Next running for Superintendent of Schools is Timothy Thomas Norbeck.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for putting this on, and like others have said, taking time out of your day to be here. My name's Tim Norbeck. I'm a Butte native. I grew up in Centerville. I went to the Blaine, graduated from Butte Central. I got my bachelor's from Carroll in math. And then I ventured to Southeast Idaho and taught there for a decade. When you marry a Butte girl, you can't keep them away very long, though, so I thought 10 years was pretty good. I came back, had the fortune of teaching 6 years in town here, serving 10 years as a principal. And the last 3 years, I have served as the superintendent of schools at Jefferson High School, which is in Boulder, Montana. I think my background in education is important, foundation for a position like this. My youngest daughter just graduated from college, so I think I might pursue a doctorate now. Master's from the U, maybe a doctorate from MSU, just to mix everything up. But here are some of the things that I've accomplished that I think are parallel to schools. I wrote an at-risk plan. This in the last 3 years, all these things. Implemented a teacher-student mentorship. We implemented a program with the help of students called SOS, which is Signs of Suicide. We had a teen of suicide as well. Montana ranked #1 this last year. It's always been in the top 3 the last however many decades. A very important issue. And this was student-driven. We used it in our English curriculum, and it has made some huge impacts on identifying students with needs, whether it's mental health or other areas. This fall, we have a full implementation of a portfolio system, an online system that's a college and career readiness program for young people. So when they leave and go to college or work, they have something to present to their employer of their background. We're implementing the Olveus Bullying Prevention Program. We're in the middle of a couple of things with the Montana Office of Public Instruction, a continuous school improvement plan, which is governed and run by student dropout and retention. We are in the middle of the Montana Behavioral Initiative, which is a program that improves academics and behavior by enhancing engagement, encouraging respect, and building relationships. We've received 3 of 4 grants in the last couple of years for Graduation Matters. One of them of most important in our community was a grant that allowed us to bring in all the parents and bring in help for FAFSA form fill out for all of our seniors. At the March 1st deadline, we had 76% of our seniors turn that in. It was the highest percentage in Montana. I've been big in trying to open up cross-curriculum across all areas and also dual credit enrollment. So I appreciate the opportunity to be a candidate and appreciate your interest in me for that position. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Now, you have 2 candidates for treasurer. We'll be starting off with Melina R. Baumgartner.
I'm a little short, so I'll pull it down. Hi, thank you for all coming. Thank you for having me as well, too. You know, my name is Melina Raylyn Baumgartner. I am running for Butte-Silver Boat treasurer. For the past 7 years, I have been working as a tax and license clerk in that department. I love every minute of my job. I can't express that anymore. Just to give you a little bit of a background onto it, I've worked very hard at my job. For the past 7 years, I have been in the collection of all taxes for Butte-Silver Boat. I license out all of your business and liquor license. I feel my knowledge and experience is fantastic. It's amazing that I'm shaking up here because sometimes I don't know when to shut up. I talk a lot, but I do like what I do. So I also, on top of posting taxes and running business license, I've also take and handle and prepare all tax deeds, tax assignments, and being present for all tax sales as well. My number 1 priority is to give excellent customer service that I have been forever. Being there for our Butte-Silver Boat residents and our taxpayers is another number 1 priority for me. I want to be there to answer any questions that they might have. I'm very knowledgeable in my position that I am in right now. Like I said, not too many people can say, I love my job. I love what I do. I enjoy coming to work every day. I just want to be there for the public and help out in any way that I can. My plans are, to say the least, many. I have many plans, just to kind of sum it up. Just given the same professional courtesy that I have been giving for the past 7 years. I would like to take on a strong leadership that we have had from our previous county treasurers, and not just naming the last one, the previous ones from now on. And I guess just making our office the most convenient and easy way. It's not easy paying your taxes. It's not easy knowing all rules and regulations onto there, but that's what I'm here for. I'm here to answer any questions that you will have. I feel I'm pretty knowledgeable, and if I don't know the answer, I definitely will figure it out for you, and I will let you know. I think we have an excellent crew in our office. I couldn't do my job without them, and I'm hoping the same thing for them as well too. Wow, that went by really fast. I thought I was gonna fly through this. Anyway, I love the opportunity to lead them in many more years to come. I wanna take the time for my family and friends that came here, and I enjoy it, and I do appreciate it, and I hope that you guys vote for me. And thanks for all supporting me, you Silverbell residents.
Thank you, Melina. Also running for treasurer, Lori Baker Patrick.
Hello, everybody. Last but not least, right? Anyway, my name is Lori Baker Patrick. I am vying for the position of county treasurer. I, like Melina, very nervous. I'm married to Billy Patrick, who is a longtime employee of Butte-Silver. My parents are Pat and Roberta Baker, who are longtime business owners in Butte, Montana with Baker Auto. They are here tonight, and thank you for your support. I am privileged to be serving as your interim treasurer at this time. It's been a good experience for me to be back into the treasurer's office. I've got a lot of plans. I've worked 25 years in professional, in professional environments and in customer service. So I've got good knowledge with that. The treasurer's office is responsible for not only just collecting your property taxes, which is a huge thing, but our tax deeds, our tax sales, motor vehicles, our school district funds, investing in government, idle funds, various reporting functions, our business and liquor license, and burn permits. Our office is a very fast-paced business, and we need a professional, highly motivated, and energetic leader in that position, and I believe that I'm your candidate. I have three main goals for the next 4 years for the treasurer's office. First of all is to continually improve on competent and responsive communications, and one way we can do that is by implementing our iTax. This is a product that we've been looking into to put our property tax online. I get calls daily from customers and businesses that want to be able to access that information online. Our phones are very busy, and we would like to have that available for them. With the new technology that will free up the phone lines for the customers that do not care for the technology and still want to come into the office and visit with us. Secondly, our current treasurer's office has 3 to 4 facilities with all of our documents that we have to save for retention and everything else. And I've been working with the archives already to have them come over and take a look at some of this stuff to see if there's some way that we can incorporate that with the archives and have it available for our citizens for their viewing. Also, mobile homes is another thing that I've been looking into since I've been there and talking to Greg Edlund. Delinquent taxes and rundown mobile homes kind of come hand in hand. And with the sheriff's department going out to do our sheriff sales, a lot of times they can't find the original owner that's on the tax bill because they've sold that property. In turn, that person has sold the property and it's ongoing. So I would like to work with the sheriff's office and community enrichment in order to find a way to eliminate that. Thank you for being here. I will see you at the polls.
Thank you very much, Lori. Thank you, Lori. At this time, we've concluded our list of the contested candidates forum for the everybody but the chief executive. We're going to take a 5-minute break right now. I have to say, I want to thank everybody on this stage for investing their own time, lots and lots of money, lots of energy to give their best for Butte-Silver, whatever capacity. I admire every one of you, and thank you so much. Okay, that's good. All right, now is this? same thing, 3 minutes.
All the chiefs up here to swallow.
Ask each a question. Give them,
You got numbers or you got names? Okay, you're gonna draw them then? Okay, Matt Benson's number 1. Mark Peters, number 2. Rawlings, number 3. Palmer, number 4. Fisher, number 5. And Dolan, number 6. So let me put them. Vincent, Reeves, Rawlings. Where's Palmer? Where's Palmer? Where's Palmer? And Fisher, look.
Well, you want to ask them?
Well, can I have the chief executive comment up front? All right, if you could have the chief executive candidates on the stage now, please.
How they pulled them out of the hat. Where's your chair? Where are you? You're in the middle. Get over here.
Sit down.
What number are you? I gotta be searching again.
I'm gonna let you choose the questions.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
I know everybody has a lot to discuss and a lot of things to think about. If we can get everybody back in their seats, maybe we can get this thing wrapped up tonight. I'll go ahead and read this a little bit while we're getting. If I can have your attention, please. Right now, Ed Dandelot's going to read a bit on the Take a Break, Take a Walk program.
Again, I want to thank all of you for coming out this evening. I know this is going to be loud, so we're going to try and move it as quickly as possible. If I could have your cooperation, please. Well, one of the things that we've been working on and what is coming into prevalence in our communities is the amount of time that we are sitting. And this is a prime example of the time we are sitting. There are two programs. If you take a walk for 30 minutes to help your heart, your joints, your diabetes, your obesity, etc. But we're a people that we used to walk and then we'd sit a little while. I was out in the back country of Itapechinga, Bahia do Brazil, and there they walk and they sit. Here in the United States, we sit and think about walking. It's healthy to take frequent walking motion. 2 years ago, we took a proposal to the state relative to taking a break, taking a walk on a 5-minute healthy habit walking pathway at highway rest stops and other convenient locations. We got 4 words into the rest area plan. Don't drive fatigued. And pathways. We need pathways. All we need is some striping, a sign to encourage people to walk, and a marker. You know, we got markers for the dogs to walk, but we haven't got markers for the people to walk. So we have started a petition. It's online. If you don't have a card, I've got some more up here. Take a break, take a walk on a 5-minute healthy habit walking pathway. Go to change.org and type in the search, and you have to use the parentheses or the quotation marks. Take a break, take a walk, and sign the petition. We got to have signatures to get them to include it. Not only in the Department of Transportation's rest area plan, but also in the Department of Health's healthy living plan. So with that, if you need a card, let me know. I'll turn it back and we'll get on with these chief executives.
Thank you, Ed. All right. Right now, we're going to go with the opening comments for the candidates for chief executive. Run them drawing out of my hat. We come up with number 1, Matt Vincent.
What are 2 minutes to make a statement? Thank you very much. I am proud to be your chief executive, and it's been my honor and privilege over the last 3 years to be working with you and for you to do a lot of the things that were identified by the folks that helped me get into this position, and that's to make Butte better. We're a can-do city, and I was committed to ensuring us and showing us that we can do better, and better we've gotten. I like to run on the record of things that we have achieved in a short period of time, and the excitement that I have at continuing those things as we move forward. Starting with over $100 million in public infrastructure that was mentioned in a couple of the previous commissioners' candidates' statements that have been done in a very fiscally responsible manner. That total does not include a couple of additional projects that I hope to see come to fruition in a second term, and that would be an outdoor aquatic facility for our children, as well as our Southwest Montana Veterans Home, which is long overdue. Again, that $100 million total does not include those two projects right there. We've made major increases and updates to our information technology that has vastly improved and increased the number of ways that our citizens can access and become involved in our local government. And I look forward to continuing to include more of those moving forward and making folks aware of all of these new things that we have made available to them so that we can hear and be more responsive to what our citizens and our taxpayers want. We've talked a lot about, and you'll hear a lot about Superfund and environmental issues. I please invite you to view my resume at my website, or if you've been paying attention, I think that I have the most extensive resume for leading us forward, and a lot of the increase in community involvement that we're seeing recently in our Superfund issues, I'd like to take credit for having a lot to do with that. Over 20 years experience working in our area Superfund issues is brought us about of doing things better. In economic development, we have renewed our cooperation and coordination between our local government, our state and federal agencies, and our private partners. Projects such as integrated marketing for our city, manufacturing maker spaces, economic gardening, and a 28-mile 2 gigabit per second fiber optic loop are just a few of the new things that we'd be able to add to our economic development arsenal, which, trust me, it's starting to pay dividends. Look at our $25 million new Northwest Energy General Office building at the corner of Park and Main. Look at some of the other smaller projects. Big and small in between things are going on, and we're just getting warmed up. I've said that this isn't an easy place to live, but it sure is an easy place to love, especially when I'm working with and for you. I'd sure appreciate your vote for another 4 years. Thank you, and I'm Matt Vincent.
Thank you very much, Matt. Second candidate for Chief Executive will be Mark Revis.
Hi. I'm Mark Revis. I'm a new immigrant to Butte, Montana. Showed up in 1981, sight unseen to Butte. Produced 3 Buttonians, paid for 3 of those degrees for one of the candidates over there. The Office of Chief Executive requires problem-solving capabilities, a forward-thinking approach. I've been listening for years, as well as recently, I knocked on every single door in the Greeley neighborhood and the Racetrack area. You might possibly remember me when I still had red hair and I worked for the Community Development Department for Housing Rehab. We were on Walnut Street, Pine Street. A whole lot of effort and a lot of organization, served great number of homeowners while wrangling a large number of contractors. That's just one facet of my experience of 21 years in Butte-Silver departments. I worked for planning, URA, public works, health. I was Butte-Silver's architect with such projects as the Belmont Center for Senior Citizens and the Granite Mountain Memorial. Most people don't realize that my historic preservation duties were only half-time. I have experience in serving the public in all sectors of local government. Being in this fire hall, I firmly believe that our community's many volunteer fire departments serve an essential public safety role. Their fire halls are the heart and soul of a neighborhood and deserve more funding and support, with their utilization as neighborhood centers and as a place for citizens to meet and voice their concerns on their own turf. Government is management of departments and resources with the best decisions for the taxpayer with available funds. This is the same as serving the public by being an architect directing housing rehab. The time is now, and I'll begin positive change on day 1. Thank you for attending. Thanks for the Butte Weekly, Ed, and our radio station. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Next up for Chief Executive, Ronald Rollins.
Hello, I want to start by saying thank you to Butte Weekly and the Greeley Coalition for inviting us here this evening. Anything I'm going to talk about on this card is going to be right here, these red bullets. Anything else, you can go to my website that's listed on that card and you can read the information and a very comprehensive plan to resolve those issues. Sarge Rollo, vote Sarge Rollo on June 7th on that primary. Serving the public, the community, the government is serving the public community. You people as individuals, vote us into office. You pay our salaries. We have to serve you. We have to please you. Accepting community input. If I am not accepting community input, I am doing my job incorrectly. I better be listening to you people and accepting what you have to say and finding remedies for all those problems that are your concerns. We're going to go forward, not backwards. By going backwards, I think going backwards, we're comparing ourselves with another city or another state or a sister city in some foreign country. We are Butte, Montana. We are unique. Our logo will say, made in the richest hill on earth, Butte, Montana, when we get to that bottom issue on this card. Economic development, we will move forward, be very proactive in attracting any business that wants to do business in Butte. I will not turn anyone away. We have mom and pop shops here. They're hitting the singles, doubles. They're keeping this economy rolling right now. We're going to go attract those people that are going to hit that eventual triple and then that grand slam. We're going to hit them hard with our best pitch and bring them to this community with great paying jobs to serve you, the public, and let the government work from there. We're going to realize all problems. We're going to organize for the future. I am going to listen to you people. I'm going to lead Butte-Silver Bow. I am not going to lead you by standing in front of you. I am going to lead you by standing beside you as an equal. I am no better than you. You are no better than me. We are individuals. We are unique in our own ways. I will stand beside you and work through any issue that you have or will arise. Opportunities for the future. We need to make sure we have those opportunities for the future. As I said, we can attract businesses here and make that number one that's on our license plate be the number one destination to move your families, implant your business, and it will say, our stamp will say, made in Butte America, the richest hill on earth. I would appreciate your vote on June 7th. Vote Ron Sarge Rollo. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarge. Next up for Chief Executive, Dave Palmer.
Good evening. Thank you for coming out this evening. My name is Dave Palmer. I'm running for Chief Executive. I want to be your next Chief Executive. I was born and raised in Butte. And after graduating from high school in 1971, I went 4 years in the United States Army, got out of the Army, came back home, worked many jobs around town. Started off as a union laborer, and then I became a union electrician. Went through a 4-year apprenticeship and worked for Pete Heim. Spent many years, became a master electrician. In the meantime, I married Betsy Shea. Been married for 39 years, have 4 children, 7 grandkids, including 2 sets of twins. So that piles up fast when you do the doubles. I've been actively involved in the community over the years. I've spent almost 20 years on the Council of Commissioners, 4 years as chairman. I've served on every committee the council has, serving as chairman of all of those committees. On break from the council, I ran for the Butte Public School District number 1 trustee, was elected to a 3-year term, served vice chairman on that board. Then I went back to the council again. Then on another break, I ran for the study commission. It's been said that the commissioners don't understand what the charter says. I think I thoroughly understand the charter. We spent 2 years going over every word in that charter. We recommended changes. A lot of them were passed. And I understand what the charter says thoroughly. And there's a separation of powers. But I think even with the separation of powers between the executive and the legislative branches, you should be able to work together. Even though the chief executive doesn't need a lot of input from the council, I think the citizens deserve the input and working together as a unit. And that goes to economic development. I think that there's been a fractured economic development effort in Butte-Silver Bow. I propose that we unite and bring it together and bring in good paying jobs to expand the tax base for the community so that the seniors and those on fixed incomes can, the payload is spread out amongst other people and new businesses. And I think it will go a long ways to making everybody happy, and we can afford more things like road repairs, which are going to be a tough issue
I know everyone wants to lower their taxes, but we have a lot of infrastructure that needs to be taken care of and may come to a bond issue on that. I'm in favor of the pool. I think it's a great thing. We need something for the kids in Butte to do. We've been a long time without an outdoor pool, and the way Stodden Park is getting put together with the carousel and the pool and the golf course, you can drop off your kids there and they can spend the day and they will be safe. Thank you. Please vote for Dave Palmer.
Thank you very much, Dave. Now up for Chief Executive, James Fisher.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sponsors, for allowing me the time to speak this evening. As you all know, most of you know, I'm a Butte native. This is my home and I love Butte, Montana. This is where we raise our kids, and I hope our grandkids can thrive in this community. And that's one of the reasons I'm running for Chief Executive, to make this community just a little better. The way I think we make this community a little better is by making government run a little more like business. And my experience in business management and business gives me the skills and ability to make it a better community. With the skills and ability come compromise, negotiation, and salesmanship. I'm pretty good at all three of them because of my years in the business. And whenever you're talking to someone, even if it's just a conversation between two people or a man and a wife or your kids when you're raising them, somebody's selling somebody. Think about it a little bit. When you're trying to do something, you're trying to sell your ideas or your thoughts. And that's kind of what people do in the world today. And, you know, to move off of that a little bit, you know, government and business will never be the same, but they've got to run a little bit more like that if you want your government to be efficient. I serve on the Budget and Finance Committee. I read the check run every week. When people hear that we have a check run weekly at Butte-Silver County of anywhere between $300,000 per week up to sometimes $4 million per week because of the wastewater treatment plant and the potable water treatment plant. But still, that's a lot of money, you know. And when you read through that and see the things, it's kind of a question everybody has to answer. Some of the numbers you throw out there is, you know, the budget's anywhere from $175 million to $180 million per year. There's 34 to 35,000 citizens in this community. 20,000 are registered to vote. 15 to 16,000 will vote. So we're actually getting a pretty good pound for our buck when you think about it, if you do the math. The things that we need in our community to improve it are our roads and our Superfund. Them are the two major issues that we got to correct to get things going. Superfund, we've got to get that water treatment plant built along with the pair tailings if we want to make it right. Because you're going to dig up the pair tailings, but everyone wants a free-flowing stream, and we all do, but we got to have a water source. And if we build a water treatment plant along with the pair tailings and have a commitment from the state, the EPA, ARCO, to go ahead and go downstream, we will have that. We'll have the stream we need and we want and we deserve. You know, and that's a big thing in Butte-Silver. Our roads, it takes money and it takes time. You know, the money is a tough issue. You know, we're probably going to have to do a bond issue or something like that, and we got to use more time. It's still daylight out there right now. And when our county workers are the best you can buy, they're the best people, but they've only got so much equipment and so much time. When we get daylight at 6 in the morning till 10 at night, you see them contractors, they're out working from 6 to 10 at night. We cannot get the work done working from 6 to 4 or 10-hour shifts. We need more time. You know, that's the essence of getting the roads fixed, the Superfund. You know, we kind of got to move it downstream a little bit. You know, there's some reasons I run for chief. I'm not running against any of these people up here. They all have a very vast interest in the community. They all serve on boards and committees and these kind of things. The reason I'm running for chief executive are the ones I've just kind of expressed to you through the things that I've said. The issues that people want to talk about are kind of off the table. The bike lanes, the angle parking, the garbage pickup. They're done deals. I lost that battle. I voted against most of those, and I was voted down, and I accepted my losses, and we're moving on. I heard someone say today that if we don't like the garbage service, we can change it. We signed a 5-year contract. We're not changing it. That's a deal. The bike lanes, that money came from CTEP money. They're here to stay. You know, we got to try and improve on these things that we got. The pool, I'm for the pool. I'm not a fence rider. Many of you read in the paper. I brought that up last time. I'm not a fence rider. That's in the hands of the people. And when the people make a decision if they want a pool or don't want a pool, I will be the chief executive that makes that the best pool that we're going to have for the most efficient amount of money. And if they don't want a pool, it's a Butte issue. It's done and over with. We won't be running that up the flagpole again. I really like Staunton Park. Hey, I want to be your employee. You are the employer. You're the taxpayer. Vote for Jim Fisher, and we will help this community become a better place. I want to work for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jim. Cindy Purdue Dorland, also a candidate for chief executive, couldn't be here tonight. She left a statement, and Robin's going to go ahead and read that now.
Good evening, and thank you to the Butte Weekly for hosting tonight's candidate forum. While I am not there in person tonight, I hope this message will give you information about my campaign for Butte-Silver Chief Executive and my foundations of people, priorities, and possibilities. I believe one of the greatest selling points about Butte, Montana is its people. Butte's people will give you the shirts off their backs and more. We are caring, we are generous, we are independent. When new folks come to town, we love to share our history and what makes Butte, Montana the place it is today. We love to share our stories and history with visitors who come to see our amazing historic landmark district, a unique district that we must strive to preserve. Secondly, what should our priorities be in the short term? The Bureau of Economic Research recently reported that Butte has grown just 1% in the last 4 years. I believe that Butte's economic growth is directly tied to a healthy, strong, and clean environment. However, let me be clear, as chief executive, I will support our current mining industry to support and retain high-paying natural resource jobs here in Butte and extend the life of the mine. But I will also make sure that the EPA and the state's environmental agencies uphold their monetary commitments to this city. As the city that electrified America, we deserve no less. Speaking of money, we must follow the money. I've said before, and I'll say it again, we must do a better job being fiscally responsible. Our city-county budget is over $176 million, and we must do a better job of cutting costs. I've seen firsthand local programs spending tens of thousands of dollars of supposed economic gardening, and when asked if any jobs were created, no answer could be given. To me, that answer equals no jobs created. So what possibilities can we reach for in the future? As chief executive, I will champion our key anchors like Montana Tech and the high-tech and connectivity advantages it brings to rural cities like Butte. Go to meetings should not just be a slogan, it should be a reality. Businesses wishing to relocate their companies can excite their employees with our piece of heaven on earth. They can have a picture postcard way of life, skiing, fishing, hiking, right in their own back door. These are the things we must promote in order to bring people and businesses to Butte, Montana. And let's not forget the key, the glue of any city or county, its infrastructure. And thank you. That's from Cindy Purdue Dolan.
Thank you, Robin. Okay, at this time, we have some questions that have been submitted from people on the floor. Robin's going to go ahead and take over from now. And I don't know.
All right, I guess we'll stick with the candidates order that we have, and we will give 3 questions that were submitted by the audience. The wording is a little out there, but I'm sure that you gentlemen can expound on the topics that were brought up tonight. So we did choose 3. We'll start with Mr. Vincent. Our first question, is it fair to offer incentives to new business that come to Butte to compete with businesses already here and paying taxes?
Thank you. I would say no, it is not fair. And it's actually in response to what I think is a misunderstanding. the incentives that have been given to the two that I can tell you that I'm assuming are alluding to is the $5,000 that was given to Pizza Ranch and the $68,500 that was granted to the Fairfield Inn project. That's going to be a $9 million addition to our flat economy. Both of those came from our Hard Rock Assistance program, which is not just open to new businesses coming into Butte, it's open to any business. There's a few guidelines that have to be met in order to qualify for that. They've been available for several years. It can't be more than 10% of the cost of whatever the project is that a business, local, new, old, expanding, has to go for. So no, I don't think we have any incentive programs that are unfairly weighted towards new outside businesses.
Same question?
Okay, same question. I'll try and read it again.
We're fine.
Is it fair
No, we're
to
fine.
offer incentives to new businesses that come to Butte to compete with businesses already here and paying taxes?
I think we can do much better at communicating that those type of funding mechanisms are available, in particular to local people, and really working on expanding current businesses in Butte. Again, I am a huge supporter of the ma and pa businesses and also targeting the return of people to Butte, Montana that have gone away for 10 years that want to come back and do economic development. I say those large businesses that would be coming in would be about 6 people. So making people fully aware of all the programs, having a one-stop shop when you come in to target those type of people, to really look at evaluating the type of people that will stay here, that do have a reason to buy into Butte, Montana. Somebody like me, a new immigrant. Thank you.
Okay, same question to Mr. Rawlings.
Thank you. I feel it is not fair to you, the taxpayers, to give any money to any business that wants to come in and compete with you. I feel that if we fix our infrastructure, they will move here at their cost to compete with you. We will not give taxpayers dollars to any business that wants to come here and relocate to compete against these fine citizens and the businesses we have here in this community. Thank you.
Okay, and Mr. Palmer, same question.
Okay, Robin, thank you. I agree with Matt. The incentives are there and they're available for all. I think we have to do a better job of communicating that they are there to everyone and work with the existing businesses and with the new ones. The key is to bringing in new business to expand the tax base so we're not all getting burdened with all of the costs for everything. So yes, I think they are fair, and I think if they're available, we should use them.
Mr. Fisher, same question.
Thank you, Robin. You know, let's use the word fair. You know, we're in the legislative branch. Matt's in the executive branch. You know, what is fair? You know, think about that for a minute. When people come to town, everybody up here says we want to get businesses to come to Butte. How are we going to get them here? You know, we've got some issues and we're going to take care of them. But if we want to bring people to Butte, you got to give them some incentive. So fairness maybe is not the right word. You know, and if you want to bring up the Marriott, the 68,000 or the 5,000 to McKenzie River, that money came out of, as Matt and Dave both said, the Hard Rock Trust Fund money. You know, that money's been there for 20 years or 15 years. It was put in a fund to draw economic development to Butte, Montana. You know, we can spend that money. We can spend that money. I got to go home. The street lights are on.
Okay. Well, that was kind of a rude interruption, but we'll try and continue. Hopefully nobody's missing their bedtime. Second question from our audience, and we'll just go in the same order. Mr. Vincent, what is your plan to keep young residents interested in having a future in Butte?
Well, I think the easiest answer to that one is to include them. I have done a lot in my 3.5 years to really reach out and engage that younger demographic, to let them feel as if they have a voice and a role in what happens here in our local government. And I think some of the other things is not just to involve the ones that we have here, which I'll be the first to tell you, there's not enough of them. If you look at any city in America that's on the grow, they have a certain amount of citizens in their age 25 to 45 demographic. Butte's running at about 10% less than what that total should be for being a growing community, and we're doing everything we can to address that, starting with encouraging those young citizens to serve on our boards and commissions, which we've had a lot of them step up and serve. You'd also notice, and I mentioned it in some of my opening comments, the integrated marketing campaign. We're marketing to that younger generation to either come back here if they have roots that started here, and then we're unable to stay and put them down as they grew families of their own, or to approach and attract the youth from some of our other areas where it's not that easy. We've had some interest and some success in bringing some of the younger entrepreneurial families from Bozeman and Missoula, where the cost of living and the cost of doing business has just gotten too high, and we're doing more of that as we move forward, and we'll continue to see more payoffs on that with 4 more years. So.
Mr. Rivas, same question.
Certainly education is of premier importance of K through 12. And then our Highlands College, the 2-year programs, building upon those, high school, and then higher education as well, particularly Montana Tech, and taking those ideas, those amazing ideas that come out of Montana Tech, and trying to incubate those. So building upon who's here at the time is extremely important. I also think finding some fairly unique, quirky people that can really love Butte, Montana. You have to love Butte, Montana. You have to have an understanding of what this town is like, those industrial roots. And certainly people that grew up back east in industrial towns, those people have come here as doctors. I think we target specific people that want to understand Butte, that can really love Butte, and you just have to hold them here long enough and they'll stay. Thank you.
Mr. Rowling, same question.
Thank you. I feel to keep those people here, we're going to have to attract more business. By attracting more business, we're going to go look at who's doing business with Montana Precision Products, REC, Northwestern, FedEx out there, your bigger employers in the community. Go attract businesses that do business with them. We can go look at solar panel manufacturers, HD TV manufacturers. Once you start getting those jobs into this community, those people will move here. Look for those companies that want to move here. Build them something. Their children will grow up here. Their children will love Butte. They will fall in love with the Butte people. Another form of economic development that will attract that younger generation. Do we have something for their children to do? We have fishing. We have hiking. We have bike riding. We have a lot of ATV trails out there. One thing they can do, remembrance to reality. It involves the Spirit of Columbia Gardens, moving that par 3 golf course out by the driving range at Copper Mountain Park, building that amusement park next to that Spirit of Columbia Gardens. The plans are there. I've ran through them. It can be built. They say, where are we going to get the money? They're all touting that hard rock mining money. Economic development, there you go. It's attracting businesses because there's going to be something for their children to do. Thank you.
Mr. Palmer, same question.
All right, well, thank you. First of all, I don't think you have to be quirky to love Butte, Montana. I think, but we do need jobs. People graduate from Montana Tech. They're not going to stay in Butte because we don't have the high-paying jobs. But with the PhD program that has started up at Montana Tech and the world's largest classroom on how to clean up Superfund right here in our back door, I think that we can create those jobs. And I think we have to bring in research dollars to go along with the PhD program to solve the Superfund problems right here in Butte that can be used worldwide. Once we get the jobs coming into Butte, that's when the people will stay.
Mr. Fisher, same question.
Thank you. You know, I just heard one of the candidates up here say, you know, economic development. Then just before that, he said that he didn't want to spend no hard rock money. And then now he says we should spend hard rock money. So I'm a little confused on that. Another candidate said, you got to be a little quirky to move into Butte. Well, I've lived here for 60 years and I might be a little quirky, but that isn't what's keeping me here. We got to go back to the point when you want to draw businesses to Butte-Silver Bow, or you want to do, I went to the tech graduation ceremony and there was a speaker there that really was diversified. The thing about it is, you know, the oil and gas industry is on its heels. Them people that were graduating in the oil field, he was trying to explain to them that they might have to be a little diversified. That college degree is not going to do much good for a few years right now. So in other words, you know, as a legislative and executive branch of Butte-Silver Bow, we kind of got to get in order. And what you got to do is you got to go out and sell what we have. You got to compromise. You got to negotiate. You can't just sit back and wait for someone to come here and open a business or tell them to bring their kids here. It's a beautiful place. We're building a new water park if it passes, or we used to have the Columbia Gardens. We got to look out the windshield, not the rear view mirror. And when we quit looking out the rear view mirror and start looking out the windshield of what we got to do in this community to make it the community so people can come here and make a living, that's when we will have the people that can stay here, raise their family here. And let's face it, jobs is always a big political thing that's kicked around, you know. The governors say jobs, the senators are saying jobs. That's a big buzzword, you know. We can't get no jobs around here unless we go out and get somebody to move in here that can hire people, you know. And we can't put them all on the county payroll. We've got county payroll full. Northwestern Energy, Silver, the hospital, you know. We've got 5 major employers in town right here that have 500 employees. And there was a survey done recently about up around Park Street. 7,000 people, 700 businesses, average income $27,000 a year. That's not enough to live on. We got to change the way we're doing things, and I'm the guy to do it. Thank you.
Okay, and our third and final question for our candidates tonight. We'll go the same order. Our question is, there is newer technology for road improvement, so they last longer. Why are we not using it? So I guess this means roads.
Okay. You know, one thing I can tell you is that I think that we under my administration have really strived to hire the best individuals for the job. We have got, we're moving away from an administration and a system where the lion's share of our expertise was found in consulting engineers. One thing that I'm proud of being able to have assembled in the last 3 is to bring in a highly qualified and excellent group of managers and people ranging from the laborers on the ground all the way up to the folks that are doing the design work. These are many of them Montana Tech engineers and graduates, but these are people that are the best in their field at what they do. And trust me, again, a lot of these things, they say perception is reality. If the perception is that we're not using the best technology that's available to us, I think we better work a little hard to change that, because I can tell you, to the best of my knowledge and the best of the knowledge of the people that I have working for me in roads, we're using that best available technology. And it takes time when you have infrastructure such as Butte's roads that undergo the wear and tear that is prevalent in these kind of harsh winter conditions, coupled with the fact that there's been a lot of underinvestment in our roads in particular over the year. It takes a long time before we're able to start catching up with the rate of return. And so working on establishing Butte-Silver Bow's first capital improvement plan, staffing our roads department, our public works department, and all of our departments at Butte-Silver Bow with the best people for the jobs is how we're going to continue to improve this city.
Mr. Rivas, same question.
I think what I can bring to the table is being a licensed architect in the state of Montana, but I do understand construction, anything from remodeling bathrooms to ADA to designing a parking lot and water flows. I think it's going to need a very concentrated effort, a chief executive that does understand that, that can direct the staff. We have very unique street configurations. We have 100 years worth of streets. We have to take each street at a time, target it, design it, and prioritize that. Lots of different funding options have been thrown out there. It will cost money to do this. So that has to go through the voters, through the council of commissioners, but people will have to pay, and that will hurt. But it is a top priority, and we do have to get it solved. Thank you.
Mr. Rowling, same question.
I have to do a little rebuttal here on Jim's comment shot at me. The first question, Jim, was using that money to compete against businesses here. I said, no, we will not. An amusement park, Butte-Silver will own. We're not competing against anyone. It is ours as a community, ours, no one else's. Now I'll get on with the roads. I got the luxury, I work in the road department. I know where one of the problems is. It's money. For us to use that higher technology, we would have to spend probably $4 to $5 million on a hot asphalt plant to get the polymer product added to that asphalt that we now currently use. Butte-Silver taxpayers do not have that money to spend on that polymer plant. As of right now, we do go around, patch potholes with hot asphalt, a Durapatcher, actually 2 Durapatchers, and we currently use millings that are used from other roads to go out to those county roads that are dirt, and now they have some asphalt on them. We also crack seal. People tell you they don't see us crack sealing. We do crack seal to try and preserve those roads. Another program that Butte-Silver should implement, they do have a chip sealer. It is old, it is outdated, trade it in, get a new one, do your own chip sealing. That will preserve your roadways 10 years from the day that chip seal's laid. With the crack sealing, the pothole repair, any foaming that they can do on those roads, and that chip sealer, once a road is built and completed, we should be able to preserve those roads close to 25 years minimum. Thank you.
Mr. Palmer, same question.
Okay. Well, I've been in the construction business for a long time, and like Mark, I too can build a bathroom, but I don't know what it has to do with fixing the roads. So, but as chief executive, I would make sure that our staff is up to date on the latest technologies that are available. But then once again, you do have to weigh the cost of all of the processes. So I think that you just have to weigh the good and the bad, and you have to do the best job possible with what we have.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate that. But let me tell you what. Prior to me going into business and sales and management, that kind of things, I worked on road construction for many, many years. You know, not in Butte. I worked on highways between Butte and Billings. I worked up in Kalispell. I mean, we worked a lot of road construction, and the new technology they're talking about and where Ronnie's coming from costs $4 to $5 million. I don't know where he's getting those figures, and I don't really know what the new technology is, but I know one thing: the price of oil is down, and that's what builds roads, oil and rock. That's how you build highways. And the other thing about it is when you go out on these jobs with that chip sealer that he's talking about, and you're filling a 3-inch hole and you put an inch of oil in, it holds about an inch of gravel. The other 3 inches get scattered down the road, and we all see it all over town. That's not an efficient way. It's called proper repair of roads. And the proper repair of roads kind of reminds me of the 7 Ps. Prior proper planning prevents a performance, if you know what that middle word is. And the thing about it is, you don't pave a road and then dig up a water line a month later or a sewer line. You try to do things in order. Prior proper planning prevents poor performance. That's what it works. And the other thing is, try to keep it simple. KISS, keep it simple, stupid. We aren't trying to reinvent the wheel. We just want to fix the darn roads. That's all we got to do. We got the manpower, we got the equipment. Maybe the management has something to do with going on here that's not getting done right, because we got the manpower. They know how to fix them. These roads are the worst shape they've been in years, and I think we can do a better job.
Well, gentlemen, I'd like to thank all of you and all of our other candidates who were good enough to share their views with us tonight, and also everyone who came out to hear the candidates from the Butte Weekly, and I'm sure from Ed's coalition out here in the Greeley neighborhood. We certainly thank you for your enthusiasm and for being such great listeners. Thank you very much for coming, and hopefully we'll do something like this again before the general election.